Hi everybody, how are you doing? This is your favorite host sjsrana, Surendra reporting for August 3rd, 2021, time about 7 hours UTC. So today again we got some very unique topics and starting from Olympics, how China is leading the whole pack, and when we got to see how things are moving on with the Epstein evil empire. Epstein, pedophile, was convicted of a sexual offender, and what has come as the outcome, we're going to delve into some detail. And how India rape saga or this rape scandal is continuing unabated, how that is coping up. Also, we're going to look at the world global situation at climate crisis. We're going to also leave a little bit look on the Afghanistan situation. In Afghanistan is turning into a little bit of void now, since United States have proclaimed to leave the place because it wants to give it back to the people who can just manage it. So anyways, a lot of the ball games, and we're going to discuss. But first, quickly, let's come down to this Olympics, and it's really very phenomenal success story from many of the athletes who, despite the pandemic COVID-19 situation, have come at a single forum Olympics Tokyo, where they have shown their strength, their stability, their stamina to the whole world. And people all across the nation, all across the globe, is applauding for their accomplishments, and a lot of applause goes to those nations, teams who are preparing such wonderful feats of humanity, strength, stability, stamina. So I keep repeating, Olympics is very important event on planet Earth, because it's trying to connect people, humanity, to one, at a single. Okay, talking of Olympics, here we see Belgium beats India on hockey, men's hockey, 5-2. So Belgium leads India by 5 goals, with India only scoring 2. So why this is important, folks, is because India's only hope to win any gold medal in Olympics was this hockey. It has been prominent of hockey, and it has been proclaiming it knows hockey from ages. But this defeat is surmounting a lot of pressure on India, 1.4 billion population who are watching Olympics, that what exactly is India team doing in Olympics if it can't score any gold medal. See, India's got 1.5 billion population, and China's got 1.5 billion population. But practically, if you see the people performing, is a total contrast. It's like day and night. It's like day and night between China and India. Both are neighboring nations. Both are nations belonging to Asia, and India is rival to China all the time. India is always complaining, cribbing about China. Always. Wherever you find, first thing India will do is crib about China. It's like a crybaby. Crybaby of Asia is known as India, which will always cry about China. Oh, it's leading in competition. Oh, it's military strength. Oh, we are fearing their military power. Oh, what they're doing at South China. What they're doing with Hong Kong. What are they doing in Tibet. So India is always seen cribbing. But now you see what's going on with India when they actually come on performance on Olympics. It's a non-partial game, impartial game. It's equal for everyone. Whosoever has the strengths, ability, stamina, mindset, focus comes on this platform with the unique message of sportsmanship. But you see, India has been a total failure. It may be called as a junk nation on Olympics. It's a junk entry. When it enters in Olympics, it's like a junk nation entering in Olympics and just trying to make some statements here and there. So folks, India is the proponent of yoga. It says that it has given yoga to people, to the world. So India started this new propaganda machine calling an International Yoga Day. Yes, it's a propaganda machine. They say that their people are giving this yoga to this whole world. So what is yoga all about? Yoga is like physical exercise which maintains the body. And they have always endured this physical strength as yoga. But I have a discourse on this, that what yoga actually means. What those sages who gave this theory of yoga to the world actually meant. Yoga is a union between you and your higher consciousness. That's actually the meaning of yoga. But these propagandist machine, these propaganda people, these especially politicians, have made yoga fun, a joke, by telling, oh, it's just a physical exercise, because they don't know their inner sense. The inner meaning of real yoga is a communion between your higher self, higher consciousness, to use, manifesting that part. So anyways, folks, that's another topic. But coming back to the Olympics, let's enjoy and share this wonderful movement by China, where they have scored the maximum gold medal, followed by US and of course Japan at the third position. Fourth is taken by Australia, and we see fourth position is this competition, and obviously the last position in this whole rank for Asia is taken by India. So anyways, folks, why India is not performing in Olympics is the question everybody is asking. What are they performing if they're not performing in Olympics? That's a question even I have to ask, but I have the answers. Anyways, quickly jumping on this massive protest in Turkey, where a young female was murdered by this 40 plus old male who took this female, kidnapped her, and brutally murdered her. And you see the whole Turkey female association have aligned together, and they have a massive protest. Every now and then we find people of, females of Mexico, people I will call, because they're male members also involved in protesting against these brutal rapes and killings and murders and gang rapes. So this was a phenomenal, you can say, a protest held in Turkey. Turkey is also having some conservative thoughts, conservative, man-dominant society, they say, but still, female get together, they speak against this social evil of rape, of this, kidnapping, of this, harassing, stalking females. And these females get together. Let's have a look and listen to this, what they have to say.
Kadınları yaşatacak olan İstanbul Sözleşmesi'ni elimizden almaya çalışırken sizler, kadınların böyle birer birer öldürülmesini, kaybedilmesine sessiz kalırız mı sandınız sizler? Sessiz kalacağız mı arkadaşlar? Hayır! Her gün kadınlar vahşice öldürülmeye devam ediyor.
Kadınların gerçekten eşit bir şekilde bu ülkede yaşadığına inanmıyorum. Çünkü erkeklerin baskısı altında yaşıyoruz hala. Ve böyle bir baskı var.
Tepki göstermemiz çok önemli. Ama o sonuçla yüzleşmeden önce mücadele etmemiz şart. Sürekli ve
Ben ülkemin sokaklarında neden özgürce yürüyemiyorum? Neden hava karınca korkuyorum? Neden ıssız bir sokaktayken korkuyorum ki? Yani bence böyle olmamalı. Herkes istediği gibi özgürce dolaşmalı. Kadın olduğum için neden ben korkuyorum ki?
yok edilmeye çalışılıyor ve kadınlar kaybedilmeye çalışılıyor. Son zamanlarda bu ifade edildiğinde, şiddete uğradığı ifade edildiğinde işte o anda yapılması için buradayız. Ceren Damar için buradayız.
So rightfully they are protesting, and even if it's a single female who was murdered and raped, they all get together and protest. But what will you call of a nation or a society or those people, cluster of those people, where rape is a regular day affair, gang rape is what is called normal of that nation, and still they never protest? What will you call of that nation? A devil, a evil, or monster? Only three things can come out of that. Either it's a devil, it's a demon, it's a pure evil, or it's a monster. What will you call of that nation? So here's a map of what they call political map of India, but I call it a gang rape map of India. Yes, folks, it has been going on since decades. Nobody cares here. Politicians are enjoying daily watching the Olympics, but they don't care that there is an anti-trafficking bill lying on their table. They should give this prominence. So this human trafficking empire spread across India in every city, every nook and corner, racing on bikes, on cars, on cities, and counting the females and alerting the pedophiles and sexual predator population residing in each locality, how many females they have trapped, how many are remaining, and when they're going to deliver the female. It's going on. Everybody knows it's an everyday affair. If you want, I can shoot a video and give it to you. I have those CCTV videos where these human trafficking agents spread across my area, locality, community where I reside here in SAS Nagar Mohali, Phase 3B2. I see it daily. But nobody cares because most of the people are happily enjoying the delivery of girls and females. So these people keep honking around across the street. And that's the reason why world is asking why India 666 million massive number of females never mass protest. Turkey is a small nation. India population, female population is at least 7 times of that Turkey. But you will never find India females protesting. So there's a big question mark that they are accustomed to these brutal rapes and killings and daily gang rape of minor girl. Perhaps people say they are accustomed. They are okay with it. They don't care. Or there is another thing that they fear the human trafficking empire agents who collude with authorities, with government. They go hand in hand and they have tactics and metaphor games. They play in front of your house daily to basically threat you or to basically intimidate you. But there are few people who don't get intimidated. I never get intimidated by these authorities. They are not God. I don't fear them. India government has tried for last 10 years to pin me down somehow. They have used baits, they have used false fabricated cases against me. They withheld my passport renewal for almost 10 months for no good reason. What a sham these people do. What a sham. They don't have any reason, but they withheld my renewal of a passport, so I should not leave the country somehow. That's how they're trying to entangle or pin down people who talk about human rights or who expose the wrongdoings of government or who expose what's going on actually down to the core. So coming back to this rape saga of India, we are basically seeing that every day there is gang rape and there is rape and murder of females going on. Especially minor girls are gang raped by these human trafficking empire agents. But it's like everyday affair. They don't care. But thankfully, the Supreme Court, India, every time comes and jumps into these callous approach by authorities or by these people who what they're doing, and it tries to bring some equilibrium to this ongoing saga. And we see recently, Supreme Court of India has denied the request of a rape convict of a minor girl who has asked to be given a bail so that he can marry the victim. So imagine this kind of society which is developing or fostering these thoughts that yes, you rape a minor girl and then basically eventually you will get to marry that girl because that girl will left with no hope but to compromise with you. So Supreme Court of India has come heavy on it today, passing this judgment once again, reminding all those lower courts and jurisdiction and police law authorities, top cops, that there should be no efforts to compromise between a rapist, a convicted rapist in the court of India and the survivor. As I keep reminding, I have told in my earlier videos that there are only two possibilities when a convicted rapist out of the India court comes into the picture, that either it's convicted and it's facing the life sentence or whatever it has done as a crime, or the other party survivor can only move as a compensation, like, okay, what state can help them. But there is never a compromise between a rapist, convicted rapist by India court and a female survivor. So this is quite clear and evident. So this under this section you can see how Supreme Court is coming heavy on those people, and it's an everyday saga here. 14 years old girl, 12 years old girl, 13 years old girl, day and night they are being gang raped in India. So India, if you look at the statistic, they are giving this massive number to the world community, like every 15 minutes they are raping a female, the sexual predators population of India. And this number is conservative, folks. Once again, the real number is 5 minutes they are raping a female. Every 5 minutes a female is raped in India openly, and this saga is going on for decades. And politicians have no answers. India authorities, India government has no answer. They have surveillance towards innocents, but they don't have any surveillance device towards the sexual predators. They don't even publish sexual predator population in your colony. Yes, this is what India government is all about. They don't have guts to even publish online sexual offenders list database to the people, so females knows that who are what and where they're residing. Just like in US, it's an open online database. Any female can access what sexual predators, sexual offenders are in their locality. But India government, because perhaps they're complicit, they know their names will be published, so they don't want to publish. What a sham. What a sham. So that's why India anti-trafficking, human trafficking bill is lying on the table. They're leisurely enjoying daily watching Olympics. And there are daily Olympics going on in India. What a sham. So anyways, folks, I just want to come back to the main topic, that this is what females of India have to say. And I mean, they should pay heed to all these females protesting every time it's happening in UK, Australia, Mexico, US, Canada, recently Turkey. Females get together got together and protested against a single murder of not a minor girl but a major female who was murdered by a pedophile, and they got together and mass protested. But when have you seen last India females, 666 million females, ever protesting on streets? I think on 2012, only one occasion. After that, the human trafficking empire agents took over the game. And now they have so much of intimidation that females can never get together of India to even protest of these gruesome, brutal rapes going on day and night. So folks, this is the story. They say boys will be boys. The mindset of India males towards females is boys will be boys. So if they are raping females or minor girls, they're just boys. Whether it's a fully grown 21 years old male, they don't care. They say boys will be boys. That's the excuse they give normally. That's the mindset. And also other things are the rape case judgment time, victim's age. You know, there's a lot of controversy on that. This topic is quite elaborate. I don't have time, and I don't think my viewers over here have time to go deeper into it. But that's another topic. I'm going to touch on this. How the victim age is playing the critical role. Because see, the point is, if a minor girl defined by the law, the Constitution of India being like 18 is the age where a girl turns major after that. Before that, anything happening to a girl cannot be absolved of the crime, that it's not a rape, whether the victim tries or the rapist tries to marry her, because she was minor. She doesn't have the understanding of what's going on with her. Whatever happens to a girl who is just below 18 years of age, she doesn't really know the world. She doesn't really know what's going on. Perhaps you will say they know a lot, but actually they don't know the law. They don't know how to proceed. They also get intimidated. So these things are very important. The age factor is very important. So of course, Supreme Court of India has taken a stand recently, again reiterating to all lower jurisdiction and lower courts and top cops that there cannot be any acceptance or zero tolerance to compromise with a convicted rapist and a girl. There can be no compromise, and don't bring these lousy cases to the court. I think they should start even punishing or putting penalties to those people who even try to bring a compromise to the court. That means they are basically fostering this idea that rape first and marry later. Yes, it's a common clause going in India: rape first, marry later. So they say first rape her because eventually she will be given to you, registered in your name. What? It's like a slavery going on, and that's why India Constitution clearly on Article 21 and 22 clearly upholds the liberty of a person, of an individual against the state. State cannot simply hone down or simply cannot snub the Article 21 and say, okay, we are supreme. The government is not the God. I mean, the Constitution has some validity. It is where everybody's, the whole nation is run through. And if Constitution is violated by any manner, whether it's state, individual, or some organization or some gang, anybody, they are not above Constitution. I think that's the democratic value. That's what US upholds all the time. You look at how US democracy is working. That's why people love US, United States, because they uphold that Constitution, validity of Constitution against any person. Nobody is supreme in US if it's compared with the Constitution of the US. That's how the nation is supposed to foster and flourish. Okay, quickly jumping on that, recently you can see the practicality of India Supreme Court acting hard on those people who are trying to put a compromise between a rape survivor and a rapist, a convicted rapist. So in this case, this man has been already convicted, and now he's trying to have a compromise with the female survivor. And a female survivor, somehow, God knows whether she was pressurized, whether she's given some lure of money or something, but she has approached the court. Okay, now she was minor when she was raped. She delivered a baby. Now she says now she wants to marry a rapist, a perpetrator of the crime. What a joke. Are they making mockery of the Constitution, or are they making mockery of the system, or the mockery of a rape? Perhaps anything of those is valid here. So Supreme Court rightfully of India has intervened and said, they go to lower courts. This cannot even entertained in Supreme Court. So categorically saying, we do not find any ground to interfere with the order passed by the High Court. The special leave petition are accordingly dismissed. The bench of Justice Vineet Saran and Dinesh Maheshwari said. So rightfully they have basically denied the appeal to even put this person on a bail who is convicted of rape to marry the survivor, who was at that time a teenage girl, maybe like 16, 17 years old girl. So this is what the Constitution of India says, and this is what the Constitution of democratic nation would say. Any democratic nation, I think even communist nation, you look at China, I mean, the topic just came up. I didn't have this topic to discuss, but compare with China. I mean, India has 1.4 billion population, China has 1.4 billion population. The real statistics for a rape of a female is every 15 minutes per NCRB, National Crime Record Bureau, New Delhi, India. Where is that statistics in China if they have the same population of 1.4 billion? They don't have this rape figure of 15 minutes raping a female. Perhaps it's like maybe 2 hours a female is raped, maybe 10 hours. I have never seen or never read any report of China, even though it's called as a communist nation, they say. But see, if it's a social justice, social equality, and there's law and order, then I don't think people should worry whether it's communist or democratic. This line should be taken off. It's only where you find the people, the safety of females, safety of kids, children, safety of everybody else, senior citizens. That's where you define a nation. It doesn't matter whether they're communist or democratic. That's just the ball game. Okay, look, quickly jumping on this device. This has been presented to the females now. I think India females need to get this device as urgent as possible.
Rape victims and you see those lifeless eyes of theirs. Their body is broken, their soul, their spirit, everything is broken. And it just can't carry on like this.
The RapeX device consists of an elastic sheath which contains razor-sharp barbs.
Millionaire financier Jeffrey Epstein once rubbed shoulders with the world's rich and powerful. In 2008, he became a convicted sex offender, found guilty on 2 counts of solicitation of prostitution, one of these with a minor. After 13 months in prison, he was released and no federal charges were laid. A decade later, a Miami Herald reporter published an expose on Epstein, speaking to a number of his victims. It sparked a federal investigation.
I was 16.
I was 16. I started going to him when I was like 14 turning 15.
In July 2019, Epstein was arrested on charges of sex trafficking.
He knows exactly what he's done, and I hope he comes clean about it.
He pleaded not guilty but never faced trial after being found dead in his jail cell a month later. It was ruled as a suicide. Now his longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, is facing criminal charges for recruiting teenage girls for Epstein. Her trial is expected to take place in November. She's pleading not guilty. Julie K. Brown is the reporter who broke the story and has a new book out called Perversion of Justice. Julie Brown, when you went back to look at the Jeffrey Epstein case, you realised that the missing voices were those of the victims. Why do you think that was?
Well, they didn't, the prosecutors the state prosecutors, of course, handled the case and dropped the ball. And then the Department of Justice federal system took over the case. And from the get-go, they didn't ever treat these women as victims. Remember, they accepted money for doing this. So
the victims are still speaking, they're still traumatized, despite Epstein has gone to graves now, alleged suicide, alleged. And what was the conspiracy, we will come to know somehow. And also, we see this pandemic going on. See, you got to understand, we all fear pandemic or viruses or, pathogens. But you got to fear whether the sexual predators population residing in any country, nation, are responsible for these viruses. That's the question, moral, ethical question, which I think individual has to answer. Whether these sexual predators who brutalize females or kids or minor girls are responsible for the spread of pathogens. And that's what I keep repeating. India is facing this 3rd wave now. I predicted 3 months ago, right in May, that by August, India will be facing 3rd wave of COVID-19. It has already started. And you can see even on the world graph of COVID-19 reaching 200 million cases overall is trying to spike the 3rd wave or give the indication. Many nations are facing the 4th wave, and there's a protest also going on with many people around the nation globe that do they really need this lockdown or extensive lockdown? Well, that's a debate I will leave for another topic. Quickly jumping on to the India, recently they discovered there are 24 universities. Yes, 24 universities that have been declared fake now recently, and most of them are from UP. UP is a state of India at north region, neighboring Nepal nation. Known as Uttar Pradesh. Not only they are running these fake mafias, a lot of these fakes thing, but Uttar Pradesh is well known all over the India for producing maximum number of sexual predators who basically prey on India females all across India. and they are the heaviest population producer also. The state of Uttar Pradesh of India produces maximum number of people and also maximum number of sexual predators population, which spread across the whole India like tentacles, and they prey upon females everywhere they go. So anyways, folks, that's the reality, and I don't fear to speak of reality of whatever is going on, but people do fear because they fear the human trafficking empire of India. They are supreme here. That's what they fear. So they don't talk. They don't speak anything. They just simply silently enjoy females or silently enjoy other things in India. Anyways, folks, so this fake university, 24 universities. Imagine a college. Many colleges get attached to university. Imagine the university, 24 universities have been recently declared, have been recently unearthed in India who are running fake universities. And imagine what's the fate of the students, or many times students realize what's going on. So anyways, folks, a grim reality how things are working here in India. Quickly jumping on to the Afghanistan. I know situation of Afghanistan is grim because US defense has proclaimed that they're going to leave this nation on its own. And they are wanting these nations, especially like India, to have a greater role to provide stability and peace in Afghanistan. Even UNSC presidency has been given to India for about a month in August. And let's see what Mr. Modi, PM leadership of India, has to put a role on Afghanistan. I think PM Modi has a greater role now because he has to give some new ideas to new ways to restore peace in Asia. And also other things which maybe he want to bring to UNSC, like declaring gang rape as a terrorism activity. I have been telling this for last 4 years that gang rape should be declared as a terrorism activity. It's not that when people attack government, they should say, oh, it's terrorist activity. What if the cartel, the organized cartel, human trafficking empire agents are gang raping female? Is this not terrorism? What a sham. Are they oblivious to these facts that this is an act of terrorism? Well, this is now India has to speak because India is known as gang rape capital of the world. So now since India's UNSC presidency, let's see and let's hear on August 9th, 2021 what Modi has to say regarding declaring gang rape as a terrorism activity. And we'll love to hear what he has to say on this topic and how he's going to make sure that India is gang rape free nation. We'll love to hear from him, and let's see what he has to say on August 9th. Okay, folks, on this Afghanistan situation, the people are protesting. People are already asking US to basically have some setup so that peace in Afghanistan can be restored and they don't fall into the hands or into the some mafia or militia, military rule, Again, the agenda of terrorism is top here. So I think a role of especially China, India, Pakistan is very great in maintaining stability at Afghanistan.
تمام مردم مسلح و مجاهد و اجای با همه میجمع میرم رلکاغو حالا برو سعی کن کی هست خو یا دوزه یا غیر طالب ده کس دیگه نیه
The State Department is announcing a new resettlement program for Afghans who assisted the United States but who do not qualify for special immigrant visas. We've created a Priority 2 or P2 designation, granting access to the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program for many of these Afghans and their family members.
Second question is Taliban is still increasing their attack, and today
Afghans who worked with the United States or the International Security Assistance Force at some point since 2001 are facing acute fears of persecution or retribution that will likely grow as coalition forces leave the country. We have a special responsibility to these individuals. They stood with us. We will stand with them.
How can they get from here to there past Taliban checkpoints? They've got
The first flight of Operation Allies Refuge arrived in the United States on Friday. The second flight arrived early this morning, together transporting around 400 people, and those flights will continue. We're now focused on relocating a group of more than 1,000 applicants and their families who have nearly completed processing, around 4,000 people in total. Additionally, we're pursuing third country agreements so eligible Afghans can be quickly relocated to wait safely in another country while we finish elements of this rigorous vetting process. The Special Immigrant Visa Program is defined carefully by statute, and we know that there are Afghans who don't qualify but who helped us and deserve our help. Some may not have the qualifying employment for the special immigrant visa. For example, they worked for a project funded by the U.S. government, but not for the government itself. Some may not have met the minimum.
So clearly, State Secretary of the United States has basically come up with this, that they have clearly stated that Afghanistan's stability piece is very much the key point and their central theme, and they're going to make sure that something is done while they're progressing to leave the Afghanistan. The troops of the United States are going to vacate Afghanistan to a point, leaving on to their local governance, local authorities, local people, how they want to restore peace and stability. But I think a greater role of Pakistan, China and India is required in Afghanistan to restore balance, peace, stability in Afghanistan. So I think something will be there. Quickly jumping on, looking at the sun, I always watch it because I see what is coming out of sun is going to impact Earth, and it tells us about the future. So looking at it, folks, I've been telling these flares are going to increase in intensity, and recently we see some hole developing, a coronal hole you can call, in the sun, and this has silenced the activity, but don't take this silence forever, because it's just a temporary pause. And I tell you, because I predicted on 27th of July, even 28th on my videos, I started telling that for July 31st to August 2nd, we're going to see something being done by sun, where it's going to put a blink on the mind or the brain activity of humanity. So something before that happened. I think on 29th July we saw how the docking of Russian space station with the ISS impacted, and how they were basically having to fear and still worrying about the impact of that docking with ISS. So, okay, another news-making headlines on the economic front is where IMF recently downgraded India from 12.5% GDP FY22 to merely 9.5% GDP growth FY22. And many factors were factored in before IMF made this decision to downgrade India from earlier 12.5% to just merely 9.5%. And I think giving to heed to that, India economics have basically hit back on the IMF and saying that it's off the mark, and they simply think that it's not 9.5%, which IMF is predicting or saying. And there's a tussle going on. To my understanding, India economists, people or experts have failed to understand the problem with the inflation. They simply ignore, or they're oblivious, or they're obfuscating the fact. India inflation is hitting double digit, folks. They may say it's just 7% or 6.5, 2.5, all crap. India inflation, practical inflation, is at least 12 to 13%, if not 14%. But it's going to be 14% very soon. Because of, everything is rising in India. The oil prices, the housing market is rising, the commodity prices, day-to-day grocery items, or whatever you look at it, it's been 100% jump from a year back. How can India experts on the economic level ignore the high inflation? They keep claiming that India yearly inflation. Okay, folks, I sign off. Time to take leave, and you can enjoy this segment, and you can enjoy how the sun is flaring up with all these things, activity going on sun and related to Earth. We're going to see